Have you ever felt like your energy, confidence, or even your connection with the person you love is slipping away, and no one's telling you why? You're not alone. Millions of men over 60 are quietly struggling with poor circulation, a hidden issue that does more than just slow you down. It can steal your vitality, intimacy, and sense of self. In this video, I'm Dr. James, and I've spent over 30 years helping men reclaim their health with simple, powerful solutions you won't hear from most doctors. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to share a safe, surprising method using something already in your kitchen that could change how you feel, move, and connect, starting today. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. The common problems in men over 60, poor blood circulation. Let me start with a story that stayed with me for years, one that captures a struggle so many men face but rarely talk about. It's about Walter, a 68-year-old retired schoolteacher, married to his high school sweetheart for over 4 decades. When Walter walked into my office, it wasn't for a heart condition, high blood pressure, or even concerns about intimacy. At least, not at first. He sat down, his weathered hands clasped tightly, and said, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore." His voice was steady, but there was a quiet weight behind it, a heaviness that hinted at something deeper. I noticed his hands were cold to the touch, even though it was a warm summer day. Walter described falling asleep earlier each evening, sometimes before the nightly news ended. His energy seemed to vanish by mid-afternoon, leaving him sluggish and disconnected. At first, he brushed it off as just getting old, but as we talked, he opened up about something more personal. Intimacy with his wife had become rare, awkward, and emotionally painful. Not because of physical discomfort, but because he felt like he was losing a part of himself, the vibrant, confident man he once was. He described it as disappearing, a slow erosion of his identity that left him questioning his worth as a husband, a partner, and a man. Walter's experience is far more common than most people realize. Poor blood circulation is one of the most widespread yet overlooked health challenges facing men over 60. It's a silent thief, creeping in over the years, stealing vitality, confidence, and connection. And it all begins with something deceptively simple: blood flow. As we age, the inner walls of our blood vessels, known as the endothelium, begin to lose their elasticity. Arteries stiffen, becoming less pliable, like old rubber hoses that crack under pressure. The smaller blood vessels, the capillaries responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to our extremities, organs, and tissues, start to narrow or close off entirely. Blood doesn't flow as freely, and the effects ripple through the body. Cold hands and feet, even in warm weather. Fatigue that lingers no matter how much you rest. A diminished response in moments of intimacy. These aren't just inconveniences, they're warning signs of a deeper issue. This decline doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual, insidious, sneaking up so slowly that many men, like Walter, dismiss it as an inevitable part of aging. But let me be clear, this isn't just getting old. Poor circulation is a medical issue with far-reaching consequences, not only for your physical health but for your emotional and psychological well-being. It can erode your sense of self, strain your relationships, and leave you feeling like a shadow of the man you used to be. I've seen men withdraw from affection, not because they've lost love for their partners, but because their bodies no longer respond the way they expect. They feel betrayed by their physiology, and no one has explained why or what they can do about it. The good news? This decline is not inevitable. There are proven ways to support healthy circulation, restore flexibility to your blood vessels, and reclaim the energy, confidence, and vitality you thought were gone forever. And here's something that might surprise you. One of the most powerful tools to start this process could be sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. Yes, I'm talking about baking soda. Not the kind you sprinkle into cookie dough, but a simple compound that, when used correctly, can kickstart a remarkable transformation in your body. In just a moment, I'll explain exactly how this humble household staple can help reverse the processes holding you back, and why the next few minutes could change the way you think about your health forever. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 2. The serious consequences of poor circulation. I'll never forget the day Charles walked into my office. At 72, he was the picture of pride and resilience, a man who always showed up for others. He was the one fixing his neighbor's fence, feeding the stray cat that wandered into his yard, and planning anniversary dinners for his wife of 50 years. But that day, Charles looked different. Not physically smaller, but emotionally diminished. His shoulders slumped slightly, and his usual warm smile was nowhere to be found. He leaned forward, his voice barely above a whisper, and said, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore." I ran the usual tests. His blood work was unremarkable. His heart rhythm was steady. But as we talked, the real issue came into focus. Charles wasn't just battling cold hands or tired legs. His body was struggling to deliver blood where it mattered most, not just to his extremities, but to the systems tied to his confidence, his sense of intimacy, and his connection with his wife. Poor circulation wasn't just a physical problem. It was quietly unraveling his identity, leaving him feeling isolated and inadequate in ways he'd never anticipated. When blood flow slows down, it's like the lights in your home dimming one room at a time. First, you notice your energy fading. You're exhausted by mid-afternoon, even after a full night's sleep. Then, your sleep quality suffers. You wake up feeling unrest, as if your body can't fully recharge. Soon, you notice changes in intimacy. Moments that once felt natural now feel strained or unattainable. These changes aren't just physical. They seep into your mind. You start to doubt yourself. You feel distant from your partner, even when they're right beside you. You might even avoid closeness altogether, not because you don't care, but because the fear of failing feels too heavy to bear. Medically, this all traces back to a critical process in your body: endothelial function. The endothelium is the thin, delicate lining of your blood vessels, responsible for keeping them flexible and responsive. When it's healthy, it produces nitric oxide, a molecule that allows your blood vessels to relax and expand, ensuring blood flows freely to every part of your body. But as we age, factors like stress, poor diet, or lack of exercise can damage the endothelium, reducing nitric oxide production. Without it, your blood vessels constrict, and blood flow slows. The smallest vessels, those tiny capillaries responsible for arousal, memory, warmth, and vitality, are the first to suffer. What begins as mild fatigue, cold extremities, or a softer response in the bedroom can escalate into far more serious issues. Poor circulation is an early warning sign of vascular disease, which increases your risk of heart attack, stroke, or kidney problems. It can also lead to erectile dysfunction that no longer responds to medications, a condition that affects not just physical intimacy but emotional connection and self-esteem. Worst of all, most men don't realize what's happening until the effects are undeniable, until they're sitting across from their doctor, feeling like Charles, wondering how they got here. But here's what gives me hope every single day. Your body is designed to heal. With the right approach, your blood vessels can regain their flexibility. Nitric oxide production can be naturally restored. And you don't need to rely on synthetic medications with side effects that often feel worse than the symptoms. In fact, there's a simple, powerful method to begin repairing your circulatory system using something you've likely had in your home for years. When I started sharing this approach with my patients, men like Charles came back to me with stories that warmed my heart. "Doc," they'd say, "I didn't think I'd ever feel this alive again." So let's talk about how baking soda, when used in a specific, science-backed way, can support your body's natural healing processes from the inside out. This isn't about old wives' tales or quick fixes. It's about understanding how a common compound can work with your physiology to restore blood flow, reignite your energy, and help you feel like yourself again. Stay with me, because this could be the turning point you've been waiting for. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Baking soda. Sometimes, the most profound solutions hide in plain sight, tucked away in the corners of our everyday lives. Baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, is one such solution. It's not a flashy supplement or a high-tech gadget. It's the humble white powder sitting in your kitchen cabinet, likely next to the flour or stashed behind the spices. Most of us associate it with baking fluffy pancakes, deodorizing the fridge, or scrubbing stubborn stains. But few realize its remarkable potential to support the human body, particularly for men grappling with the silent, creeping effects of poor circulation. Effects that sap energy, erode confidence, and strain intimate connections. I'll never forget the day Harold walked into my office. At 67, this soft-spoken retired math teacher carried himself with a quiet dignity, but his eyes betrayed exhaustion. He'd tried everything to reclaim the vitality he felt slipping away. Expensive supplements, prescription medications with long lists of side effects, even those awkward devices peddled on late-night infomercials. "Nothing sticks," he said, his voice heavy with frustration as he shook his head. "I feel like I'm chasing shadows." It wasn't just physical fatigue weighing him down, it was the toll on his spirit, the sense that he was losing a part of himself he wasn't ready to let go. Then I asked him a question that stopped him in his tracks. "Do you have baking soda in your kitchen?" His brow furrowed, and he gave me a puzzled look. "You mean for cookies?" I couldn't help but smile. "Yes, but not just for cookies." That moment marked the beginning of a conversation that would change how Harold saw his body, and what was still possible. Baking soda isn't a miracle cure or a magic bullet. It's a simple, time-tested compound that, when used thoughtfully and correctly, can support better blood flow, enhance oxygen delivery, and make a meaningful difference in how you feel as you age. To understand why it's so powerful, let's dive into what happens in the body as the years accumulate. As we get older, our bodies naturally become more acidic. This shift is driven by a combination of factors. Diets heavy in processed foods, chronic stress that keeps our systems in overdrive, and declining kidney function that struggles to keep our internal chemistry in balance. This acidic environment isn't just a vague concept, it has real consequences. Excess acidity can constrict blood vessels, making it harder for blood to flow freely. It also reduces the availability of oxygen, which every cell in your body needs to function at its best. For men dealing with circulation challenges, this is a double blow. Poor blood flow doesn't just mean cold hands or tired legs. It can manifest as low energy, persistent stiffness, and even difficulties in intimate moments that chip away at confidence and connection. A small, carefully timed dose of baking soda mixed with water can help neutralize this excess acidity, gently nudging the body's pH toward a more balanced state. When pH is optimized, blood vessels relax, circulation improves, and oxygen reaches tissues more effectively. The results? They're not always dramatic, but they're deeply meaningful. I've seen men like Harold, under proper guidance, notice subtle yet transformative changes. Mornings feel less heavy, with a newfound energy to start the day. Joints and muscles loosen, shedding that stubborn stiffness. And for some, there's a spark of responsiveness, a warmth, a vitality, in areas they thought were beyond revival. These changes don't happen overnight, and baking soda isn't a replacement for healthy habits like a balanced diet, regular movement, or stress management. But for many, it's a catalyst, a starting point that helps the body remember what it's capable of. Harold's story is one of many. After we discussed how to use baking soda safely, he started with a small, precise dose under my guidance. Within weeks, he reported feeling lighter, with more energy to enjoy his daily walks and a renewed sense of connection with his wife. It wasn't a cure-all, but it was a turning point, a reminder that sometimes the simplest tools can unlock profound shifts when used with care. But here's the critical part. While baking soda can be a gentle ally when used correctly, it's not something to approach carelessly. Misusing it, or guessing at the process, can turn a potential solution into a serious problem. To understand why, let's move to the next piece of the puzzle. Fourth, the danger of using it the wrong way. I've seen baking soda work wonders, helping men reclaim their vitality, confidence, and sense of self. But I've also seen it backfire when used recklessly, and those stories are just as important to share. Let me tell you about Dennis, a 70-year-old patient who was still active, golfing twice a week, and full of enthusiasm for life. Dennis stumbled across an online article touting baking soda as a circulation booster, and thought, why not give it a try? Eager for results, he started taking a heaping teaspoon in water every morning and another at night, assuming that more would mean faster progress. Within a week, Dennis was in trouble. He felt bloated and sluggish, his blood pressure spiked, and he landed in the emergency room with heart palpitations and confusion. His kidneys, already strained by years of silent wear and tear, couldn't handle the sudden overload of sodium. It was a stark reminder that even something as natural as baking soda isn't inherently safe in any amount or for everyone. Baking soda isn't dangerous on its own. It's a compound found in nature and used safely for generations. But it's powerful, and that power demands respect. Unlike a multivitamin you might pop daily without much thought, baking soda directly affects your body's internal chemistry. It influences your pH levels, fluid balance, and sodium load, all of which are delicately balanced, especially as we age. For older adults, particularly those with kidney issues, heart conditions, or on medications like blood pressure drugs, this balance is fragile. Too much sodium bicarbonate can disrupt heart rhythms, cause swelling, edema, or push blood pressure into dangerous territory. In Dennis's case, his well-intentioned experiment threw his system into chaos because he didn't know the rules. The body at this stage of life is like a finely tuned instrument. Even small missteps can create ripples that lead to big consequences. I've had to sit down with more than one patient who, like Dennis, meant well but didn't realize the cost of guessing. They wanted to feel alive again, to shake off the fatigue and reclaim their spark, but they rushed in without the full picture. The good news? These risks are entirely avoidable if you approach baking soda with knowledge and care. Care doesn't just mean using a smaller spoon. It means understanding the right dosage, timing, and hydration. It means knowing how baking soda interacts with your medications and health conditions. It means listening to your body's signals and working with it, not forcing it toward results. I always tell my patients, just because something is natural doesn't mean it's automatically safe in any quantity. Water is natural, but drinking too much too fast can overwhelm your system. Baking soda is no different. If you're still reading, I know you're not looking for a quick fix or a shortcut. You're looking for something that works, something that helps you feel like yourself again without putting your health at risk. That's exactly why I want to guide you through this the right way. In the next section, I'll walk you through the exact method I share with my patients. The safe dosage, the best timing, the critical hydration step, and one key trick that maximizes benefits while minimizing risks. This isn't about guesswork. It's about giving your body the support it needs to thrive, safely and effectively. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 5. How to use it safely. When I talk about baking soda with my patients, their first question is almost always the same. Okay, doc, but how do I use it? And it's the right question to ask because, as we've seen, the difference between helping your body and harming it comes down to the how. For most generally healthy adults over 60, the safest place to start is with just a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda stirred into a full glass of water, taken on an empty stomach. Ideally, first thing in the morning, not after a meal, not before bed, and not multiple times a day. Just once. That may sound small, but trust me, when it comes to your internal balance, small is smart. I remember one of my patients, Ray, who was 74 and struggling with energy crashes in the afternoon and circulation issues that made even a short walk feel like a chore. We started with that simple protocol. A 1/4 teaspoon each morning, empty stomach, full glass of water, and within 3 weeks, he told me, "I don't know what it is, doc, but I feel clearer, more steady, and my hands aren't freezing anymore." Now, here's something most people don't think about: hydration. Baking soda works best when your body is well hydrated. That means drinking water throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. When your blood is well hydrated, circulation improves, oxygen travels more easily, and your organs, including those responsible for intimacy, function better. So, don't just focus on the baking soda itself. Think of it as part of a bigger shift in how you care for your body. And if you're on medications, especially for high blood pressure, heart, or kidney issues, always talk to your doctor first. It's not about fear. It's about respect. Your body has been through decades of life. It deserves careful attention. You wouldn't drive a classic car without checking the engine first, right? Treat your health the same way. Most men don't need a miracle. They just need one small win to build hope. One positive change that tells them, you're not done. You're not broken. You're still in there. That's what this simple daily habit can be, the beginning of that change. Now, if all of this is sounding promising, stay with me just a little longer because in the final part, I'm going to share the story of a 76-year-old man who used this exact method and one tiny addition that took his results to an entirely new level. You'll want to hear what happened next. That's it for today's video, folks. I hope you found this information as eye-opening as the thousands of men I've helped over the years. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today about improving your circulation or reclaiming your vitality that stuck with you? And more importantly, what's one step you're going to take in your life to put this into practice? Drop it in the comments below. I'm reading every single one, and your insights might just inspire someone else. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more practical health tips to help you feel stronger, more connected, and in control. Until next time, take care of yourself. You've got more life to live.